Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to Mr. Reiter's Pre-Calculus Survival course.
We're going to be teaching you the ins and outs of how to survive pre-calculus with Mr. Reiter. So, let us begin.
Okay, first up is homework ideas. Now, why, Lewis, is homework important? Why is it crucial? Why is it integral to Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course?
Well, Mr. Reiter teaches his class sort of like he brings you in and sort of shows you the way. And then it is your responsibility as a student of Mr. Reiter's to practice the concepts he talks about and sort of learn about how you can apply those in different scenarios.
Now, we're talking about the way. The way is the big deal here. And homework teaches you the way. Now, if you have questions, you can ask Mr. Reiter anytime. But homework shows you the way. Procrastination. What is it? You see here, I was too lazy to finish the work. That's procrastination. Now, procrastination is putting off your work to the very last minute and perhaps not even doing it at all. Now, this is very bad. Tell us, Lewis, why is procrastination bad for Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course?
Well, you know, it's really important to do the work that he gives you in a timely manner so that if you have any questions while you're doing it, you can always go to him and ask him sort of how to lead you through it. That's a really important part about his class. But procrastinating your work never ends well. You're going to be a junior next year, and it's going to be a real struggle.
Now, the point here is do the work. And if you do the work, you won't have any problem with procrastination. Simple as that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that's really important about Mr. Reiter's class is that you have to study the concepts that you are learning in his class. One of the things that I have always liked to do is take notes in class, and then while I'm doing my homework, utilize those notes so that I can be effective in completing the work he provides us.
Now, everybody, notes is the big deal here. And with notes allows you to write it down. And by writing it down, you're studying. You might not think so, but in fact, Lewis and I are pre-calculus pros, and we are here to tell you today that to survive Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course, you need to take notes, and those are crucial. Now, we have Mr. Pomponio here, who's going to join us in our video. Mr. Pomponio, let's say a few words about math class. Do you miss it? Yeah. Formulas. Formulas are key. You got to know formulas. Here's the deal. If I asked you a question, what is BC cosine A from the law of cosines equation? You'd be like, I don't know, and I tell you that it's 7.834, and that's a ratio. And that is the way that it is. And the way that I know that is because of these formulas. Now, Lewis, walk us through some of the essential pre-calculus Mr. Reiter's course formulas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the formulas here today are at the core of all of pre-calculus. So we got the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, linear equations. We have the way to find the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to have the quadratic formula. You should know the song. I'm not going to sing it. It's a great song. Listen to it on your own time. Later along in your period, in your algebra education, we're going to go into law of sines. This is trig. This is trigonometry. We're going to have law of sines. Allows you to find angles right here and sides right here of all triangles. Works for any triangle. Anything you learn in geometry doesn't apply unless it's a right triangle. Didn't know that when I started doing it.
Now you know.
Now we got law of cosines. Law of cosines is really easy. All you got to do, whatever side length you're trying to find,
square it.
Square it, put it here, and make sure you take the angle of the side you are trying to find.
Math. Welcome to time management. This is one of our favorite sections. Now, time management can be a challenge as a junior at DCIS. But with a few tips that we're going to show you today, we've got a 3-step program, $9.99. You'll be flying your way through Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course. Now, Lewis, tell us, what is the first step in time management?
First step in time management is that you have to know how much time you have to start.
Okay, so, time to start. I hope that's right. 2, Lewis, tell me Number 2 is actually going to be a plan. You got to plan. You got to plan. Now, if you don't plan, you'll never know what you're doing. Okay? Now, Lewis, what is the third step in our program?
Third step is taking care of your time. You got to be able to delegate the amount of time you know you need for a problem and for working on homework, working on a project, working on a test, studying, working on homework. These things are all important parts of time management. And I think in order to have effective time management skills,
Formulas point 2. We're talking about sinusoids. Sinusoids are going to be a big part of your math curriculum in Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course. Now, Lewis, why don't you walk us through this equation?
So, ladies and gentlemen, while you're doing sinusoids, they're going to be like waves, right? Think waves, light, frequency, stuff like that. So, with frequency in mind, we're going to be starting out. We're going to have y is equal to d plus a sine of b times x plus c. So, y'all don't know what the heck that means, so we should explain it to you. So, we're going to be looking at D. D is going to be your vertical shift. That is going to be your y average of the sinusoidal model. That's the middle. We've also got your amplitude. That's how high and how low from the average the waves go, the crests and the troughs of the waves. So we're also going to be looking at B, which is frequency. B is frequency and how often the wave occurs. When you're graphing this, you're only going to be graphing one period of the wave, but that'll be over different amounts of time.
What's a period?
Now, to look at periods, we're going to look down here. For sine and cosine sinusoidal models, period can be found by 2 pi divided by your b value. That's your period, and then to find the points of the period, you're going to divide that by 4. You get the 4 points, then you split them up, and then you graph it on your paper, whatever. Then, for tangent, tangent's a little special. It's half of the period of sine and cosine, so it's going to be pi divided by b, not 2 pi.
Okay, here are some things that you should know cold. Going into pre-calc, you ought to know how to factor. X squared minus 10x plus 25. You should know that this will be x minus 5 and x minus 5, also known as x minus 5 squared. Now, in pre-calculus, you're going to encounter something a little bit more complex called factor by grouping. We have this expression, 2x squared minus 9x plus 9. Now, you'll learn a little bit more about this, but the way that this is going to be represented is 2x minus 3 times x minus 3. Now, these are some things that you should expect to see in Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course. Now, Lewis, the next thing we need to know about in this course is reference triangles. Here we have a triangle in the first quadrant. Here's our angle of theta, and we have x. Now, what are some ways, if we know this angle, that we can find x? Trigonometric ratios. Now, as you see here, x is going to be opposite over the hypotenuse. So we can do the sine of theta equals x over 5. And that are some things that you should know cold. Welcome to our final segment of our survival guide for you from Mr. Reiter's pre-calculus course. Now, this is about test taking. Now, Lewis, what is the first step in test taking strategy?
First step in test taking in pre-calc is to relax. You know the problems, you've seen them throughout the class periods, assuming you've been there. They're important, but it's not the end of the world. Relax, you'll get through it.
Next thing is homework. Often, Mr. Reiter's homework mirrors the test. So the problems on the homework is what you'll see on the test. Use your notes, use your homework. And the third and final thing is the textbook. Mr. Reiter uses his textbook a lot. Go through, work through some of the problems in the textbook, you'll be set. Enjoy his course. It was a blast. Lewis and I thank you, Mr. Reiter, for all your hard work and dedication.
Take care, guys, and good luck next year in pre-calc. I know you're going to kick butt, and Mr. Reiter is a really fun teacher. He tries really hard, and enjoy it. You know how to boil horizontal. One important thing to know about this is that A will be your slope and B will be your y-intercept.